Hello and welcome to part 5 on how to create a protective wall reinforcement detailing model for a river intake structure using Revit 2026. In this video, we'll learn how to create structural tags that will be for the slab, beam, walls, and finally our rebars. We'll also learn how to create dimensions. We'll then learn how to create sections and plan views for the rebar shapes. We'll proceed to discuss on creating schedules for the rebars, wall, beam and foundation. We'll briefly discuss on how to create a keynote for the general notes, bending detail, and finally, we'll also discuss how to place views, sections and schedules in sheets. Let's get started. So if we zoom at this diagram here, I will start by selecting this rebar set. And if we select it, then zoom at this drawing area here, we'll notice that these two rebar sets are merging, which means that they are going through each other, or they are referenced at the same plane. In this tutorial, we are going to start by fixing our wall rebars that we did in our previous video. So I'll start by going to the ground level view, then zoom to the drawing. I'll hit escape. Then we can start by defining a section that will enable us to view both rebar sets of the wall. I'll select this section view, then we can drag it up to somewhere here. I will hit escape, then double click to open the section. From this side, we see that we are not able to see all our rebars. So we can go back to our ground level, select the section, then from here, I will use the direction keys to nudge it so that it can cut through this area here. I will now hit escape, then go to the section view. And now we see that we are able to see all our rebar sets. So for this other rebar, we can go back to our ground level, and to save time, we can just select this one, then drag it like this, hit escape, then go back to section 5. We now have all our rebars visible in view. I will start by selecting this set here, and we see that this rebar set and the other one are merging. So to fix this here, at this side, if I select this other set, we can select this other now, going along wall 8, because this is wall 9. I will select this rebar, and I will start by aligning it to this one. So I'll hit escape, I will select this rebar, this one here, and we can start by aligning it to this rebar set. This is a quick edit fix. So I'll start by aligning it like that. I'll hit escape, then select this other rebar set, and we can also align it to here. With it selected, I will align it like that. We can go to the bottom side and ensure that all our rebars start from this point here. Now I will zoom to the other side and also ensure the same conditions for this side. So we see that the bottom side, everything has started from that rebar set. We can go to the top side here. I will hit escape, select this rebar set. Then we can start by aligning it to this top rebar. So I'll select it from here, then drag it to the midpoint. I'll hit escape, select this other rebar, then we can drag it to the midpoint, like this here. And if we zoom out, I'll hit escape, we notice that our top of wall is at 3000, so I'll select it, and we can modify it to 3070. Revit will automatically adjust because our rebars have constraints. Now if you go to a 3D view, I will double click to view the drawing, and if we zoom here now, you'll notice that this will be the typical condition while detailing in Revit. So how do we fix the rebars so that they do not interfere? So if I zoom here, you'll notice now that all the rebars, they are at a single plane. So at this corner here, we see that they are at a single plane, which will normally be the situation in Revit. So to fix here, we can go now to our section, and we can start by detailing the long rebar set. So I will hit escape, and we'll start by this rebar set. I will pick on this rebar set, and from the identity we see that it is under the layer of near face 2 for face 2, which is the interior layer or the alternating layer. So for this one, we can use the edit bars command. I will select edit bars, then we can zoom out, select everything apart from the last rebar set. So I will select everything like this here, apart from the last rebar set. Then now even we can zoom here at the lower side. We can zoom here at the lower side or anywhere, then use the move command. So apparently I did not also select this one. So I'll hold control. Then, okay, we have 15. So for this one, we can use the move command. And then now we can move at a distance of 12. This will automatically take them below the other rebar layer because they are alternating. I will now select this last rebar set. Because it is at the cover, we cannot take it below the cover. So I'll use the move command. Then we can move it above vertically. Now we can hit finish from here. And with that, we have edited our rebar set by moving them. And if we now go to the 3D view, we see that the first, let us go to the other side. I will rotate to the other side of the drawing. And if we rotate here, we see that now these two bars, they are overlapping. They are not merged. Or else they are placed at a different plane. So with that, we can proceed to edit this side now. And to edit that, we can go to the section view. Now we can select this rebar set. I'll select this one. Then you can go to edit bars. I will use move. I will then scroll out, select everything apart from the last rebar set. Apart from this last rebar here, I will drag, then select everything like this. Go to move. Then we can zoom to this rebar. We pick it from this point, then we move it down vertically. up to this here. Next, we can select the last rebar, go to move, then we can move it from this point up to here. So this will set all the rebars to be at a different plane, and it will automatically fix the errors of merging. So if we select now this rebar, then go to the 3D view, I will go to that side, and from here we see that now all rebars are at a different layer. So that is how we fix the longitudinal rebars. And at this other side, we can choose to leave this one because we had fixed, but we see for this one, the other one, this set, they are still merging, so we can go to the other side and fix it. We go to the section view, then now we go to the other side of the drawing. I will zoom to this other area, and we can select this rebar set because we see that it is going inside this other rebar. We can select it, then go to edit bars. I will select this last rebar, then I can move it up. So I'll select from here, I'll pick it, then go to move command, and we can move it up at a distance of 12, which is the radius for these rebars. Now we can zoom out. Then we can select all the other rebar. We go to move, and we can move it down at a distance of 12. So I'll select here, and I'll move it down up to here. With this, we can hit finish. And now if we select this rebar set, because there are two layers, we are going to come back to fix this other one. We select this rebar set, then go to the 3D view. We see that now we have it placed below the other layer here. They are not merging. There is still one more condition to be fixed, because here these two are still merging. So if I do like this, we see that here these two are merging. So we can fix this by moving this other layer below this. We'll go to the section view. I'll hit escape. And now I can select this rebar set. Go to edit bars. And we can zoom out. Select everything apart from the last rebar. So here is the last rebar. I will highlight, then select everything like this. Go to move. Then zoom to the drawing. So I'll select this endpoint here. Then move it to the endpoint of this rebar set. We can pick on this last rebar, then move it above. We can select it from the endpoint here. I'll go to move. Then we can pick it from the endpoint, then snap it to this other endpoint and hit finish. Now if we go to a 3D view, all the rebars are now okay. That is how you can fix the visibility of rebars. And now we can proceed to creating our sections and views and detailing our sections. I'll go to the ground level, and from here, we'll start by duplicating this view. I will right click, then duplicate view, then I'll go to duplicate. We can select on the plan view name once, then click once again, and this will enable us to rename this view. So we can rename it as 03 Slab RC Details. Then hit enter. Now for this one, we can start by having a view that will only be able to see the slab rebars. So if we go to our ground level, and then I will double click, we can save the project. If I right click, then select zoom to fit, then I right click again, then zoom in region. Now I can zoom here. We can start by creating this detail for the protective wall base slab RC details. We'll go to this view, and first I will start by selecting any grid, then right click, hide in view by category. For this, since I'm only interested in the rebars, I will also hide all the section views. So you can select on one section view, right click, hide in view by category. Next, because we also don't want to see the rebars for the walls, we can hide all the wall rebars. So I will select all the wall rebars. I'll start by selecting this rebar set. Then I'll select this other rebar set. We can zoom here. Then we can hold control, pick this rebar set. Then we can also pick this other rebar set. I will zoom to this other area. Can zoom to this other drawing side here. Then we can proceed by selecting the other rebar for the walls. I'm going to select on the wall rebars. I'll select this one also. Now we can zoom to the other wall 8 below. Can zoom here. Then we can select on our other wall rebars. I'll hold control, pick this rebar set. I'll also pick this other rebar set. Can zoom in here. I can pick on this rebar set. Then you can zoom out and pick the other rebar set. I will right click, hide in view by elements. Also, we don't need to see the rebars for the beam, so we can hide them. I will select this rebar, hold control. I will then pick this other rebar set for the beam. So I'll select this rebar set. I'll move here, pick this other rebar set. We can right click, hide in view by elements. So still here, I will pick this other rebar set, right click, hide in view by elements. Now we have only our slab reinforcement visible in this view. We can proceed to edit the presentation so that we can only see one rebar representing the whole rebar sets. So I'll start with this rebar set here. We can select it, and remember that our rebars were of two layers, for the top and bottom for the slab. So we'll go to presentation. First we select none. Then we pick on the middle one, this one here. Then we hit finish. I will hit escape. Then I can select on the other rebar set for this layer. I'll come here and I will click tab to select the other layer. With this one selected, we can go to presentation. select none, then we pick the middle one again for the other rebar set, and then we hit finish. By doing so, we are able to show one rebar for this rebar set. I will hit escape, then I will select this other rebar. But before that, if I zoom in, we notice that we had edited this in the previous video. So here we only edited 2. So I'll start by selecting this rebar set, and then we can go to edit bars, or first we can also reset from here if you had previously edited. So we'll go with the reset, and this will reset back to its original position. Now I'll select on the rebar set, and from here we can go with edit bars. And now for this one, I will zoom to view the extents, and we see that here we have our last rebar for this set. So we can drag like this to select these ones, and then we can choose to go with the move command. I will hit cancel. With this one reset, if we select it, remember we also discussed on how to edit with constraints so as to fix the overlap for this side. So if we select it, then go to 3D view, we'll notice that we don't have the interference because of how we placed our constraints. So you can watch that in the part 2 of this tutorial series. You can go back to the RC details, and now we can choose to edit the presentation for this rebar set. We can go here to presentation and select this command, then select none, pick on this rebar set, then hit finish. I will hit escape to exit out of the rebar set. We can select on this other rebar set, go to presentation, or go to select rebars in rebar set to show, and select that command. And when we select none, it hides all the rebars for this selection. So if we select none, we hide all the rebars, and then we pick on this one to show in this other rebar set. We'll hit finish, and now we are left with one rebar showing 2 layers. I'll hit escape, then you can proceed to this other one. You can select it, then go to presentation. I'll first select none, then I'll pick on this rebar set, then hit finish. We can hit escape to exit out of the rebars, then select the other rebars in the other layer. So we can pick on this one, then go to presentation here for select rebars to show. We select none, and then we pick on the one we want to show, then hit finish. We can pick on this other rebar set. I'll hit escape, then we can pick on this other rebar set here. Go to select rebar set to show, under presentation here, select none, then we can pick on the middle one, then hit finish. I will hit escape, then select the other rebar set. We can go to presentation, then select the rebar set to show, select none, pick on the middle one, then hit finish. We can proceed to the next rebar set. Here, I'll hit escape. We can now proceed to the next one here. I will pick on this rebar set. Then under presentation, we can go to select the rebar set to show. We select none. I will pick on this rebar set here, then hit finish. We can select the other rebar set, go to presentation, then first select none. We can pick on the one we want to show, then hit finish. We are now left with one rebar representing all the other rebars in this set, in this view. So we can proceed below. You can zoom here. I will hit escape, and then you can select this rebar set. I will select it, then go to presentation here. We can pick on this rebar set. Because we have not started by selecting none, I will select all, then I will select none. I will then select none again, then I will pick this one, then hit finish. I will hit escape, then select the other rebar set. We can go to presentation here again and select the rebar set to show. We first select none. Now we pick on the other one, and then we hit finish. We can press escape, and then go to the next rebar set here. I will pick on this rebar set. Then I'll go to presentation. We can select none. Then pick on the middle one, then hit finish. I'll hit escape. Then we can select the other rebar set. I'll select the other rebar set. Remember that these slab rebars were placed for B1 T1 or B2 T2. So we go to presentation. I will select none, pick on the middle one, then hit finish. We can press escape, then edit our final rebars in this view for the slab. So we'll pick this rebar set, go to presentation. I will select none, pick on the middle one, then hit finish. I will hit escape to exit out of the rebar. We can now select the other rebar, and you see that when I hover over here, it is not easily selectable. So for this, we can use the tab key. And then we select it. The tab key helps us to cycle through in our selection. So I'll select the other rebar set, go to presentation here, select none, then select the middle one, then hit finish. Now with this, we have finished to detail the rebar presentation in slab view. The next step is to create the custom rebar tag that will be used while tagging in this view. So we'll go to the Annotate tab. Then here we have tag. Drop at multi-rebar, then select linear multi-rebar annotation. I will select it, and now before you start placing, ensure that this pick position is enabled. So if I deselect it, we are not able to change the orientation and the leader type. But if it is selected like this, pick position, we can change the orientation for the horizontal or vertical and the leader type from free to attached. So with pick position enabled, I will first select this rebar set. Then I will select, we can pick here now, go here, then we can go to this other side like this. I will then hit escape. So how do we change the annotation from this to this, as seen in these details here? We see that it is detailed as like this, and the other set is the rebar. And we also have our structural tag in the format of 2 times 3 by 12, 32, 11, 200 B2 T2. So in case you are watching the previous videos, by now you know that this one 2 times 3 represents 2 for the bottom and top layer, and 3 is for the quantity of number in the rebar set. So there are 3 in each rebar set. Y12 is for the type, 37 is for the shape code, 11 is for the mark, 200 is for spacing, B2 T2 is for comments. So we can go back to our slab details, and I can start by selecting this. We can pick on this like this once, and we see that we have multi-rebar annotations here, and it is under structural rebar section. So I'll hit escape, and we can start by going here to select tag. Under this tag, we see that if we drop, we cannot drop for this one, but the name is under M structural rebar section. So to edit it, I'll go to edit family. This will edit the section family. And also we are going to save this so that we can also be able to use in other drawings. So I'll start by selecting this line, right click, then select all instances in entire project. I will then hit delete. We can now select this field. We select the field box, then go to edit label. We'll start by removing each other label here. So as we remember from our schedule, we had it in the format of 2 times then quantity of. We start by the quantity by rebar set here. So we're going to start by the quantity by rebar set. The next one, we're going to place the type. So I'll go to type, and then you're going to give it the type name. So the next value we're going to put is the shape code. So we'll go to shape and input the shape code, then bar mark. So bar mark, after the bar mark, we had spacing. So we'll go to spacing. After spacing, we had the comment at the end. So in our comments, that was where we placed the rebar layers for B1, T1. So here I'll select spacing and then go to this option here. For the spacing format, we can uncheck project settings. And for rounding, we go to 0 decimal places. And for unit symbol, we use none. Then press OK. That will remove the millimeter mark from the rebar tag. We are going to create 2 of these. So this first one will be for slab only, or for the layers that have the format of 2 times. So here I'm going to place 2x, the prefix before the quantity by rebar set, so that it can show, because our slab details were all in the format of 2x for the bottom and top layers. And they had the same values in form of A, B, and C at the rebar schedule. So for the suffix here, we are going to add a space. So I'll hit space for the suffix. And then now we'll have the Y12. For the shape, we are going to open bracket at this prefix, and suffix we are going to close. For the mark, we are going to put a dash or minus for the prefix and suffix, dash dash. And for the spacing, we go to suffix, select it, then add space. Now we can hit apply, then OK. To make our tag be in one line, it all starts from this family here. So from here, you can drag this to enlarge it. Once this is enlarged like this, the family will be in one line. So I'll use the load into project and close. Do you want to save changes? Yes. And now we can go to our folder where I save my custom tags. And this one we can name it from here. We can name it as structural rebar section. So rebar, and then I will give it a unique name. So I'm going to name it rebar section, and then in brackets, I'm going to give it a value with 2x. Then we can close. Go to options, then give a maximum backup of 1, then hit save. Now Revit will load it into the project and close. And remember that we have also saved it, and we can use it in other Revit projects. In case you like to download anything that we are discussing on, I will be able to share this working folder in my Patreon page. Consider becoming a Patreon and you'll be able to access all drawing files from the channel. We can proceed now by selecting this rebar like this. We select the whole annotation, then go to edit type. Now for the tag family, I'm going to drop, then we select with 2x. Hit apply, then OK. And now we see that we have our rebar tag in place. The next thing we need to do is to edit the dimension. So with the multi-rebar annotation selected, we can go here and select edit dimension. After we select the dimension, go to edit type here. And now from here, we can start to edit the style of our dimension. So under here, dimension string, we can leave it as continuous. For the leader type, I'm going to set it to line. So I'll drop, then select line. Under here, we're going to leave as none for now, then none. For this one also, we're going to leave as it is. For the here, witness, we are going to leave here as it is. And for the witness line control, we are going to change from gap to element. I will drop, then set to fix to the dimension line. So for the witness, this one I'm going to give a value of 0. And for this other one, for the witness tick line mark, we are going to leave as arrow 20. The interior mark here, we are going to change from dynamic. I'm going to drop, select it, drop, change from dynamic to always show. For the center line tick mark, which is now this one, which will show the rebar, we're going to change it from tick mark. So we can drop for the center line, then give it the open dot. So for this one first, I'm going to hit apply, and we see the preview. So next is to edit now this leader to show the arrow dimensions. We also need to change here. We see that it is this line. So to set the dimensions here, for the end, we are going to use we are going to set the tick mark here. I'm going to set the tick mark to field 30 degrees large. This one, then hit apply. We'll now have the dimension, and now we can change the interior mark. Now for the interior, we're going to use the open dot. So we see that it is important to start with giving the tick mark a value. We change from none so that we can be able to change the interior tick mark. Set the interior tick mark to the open dot 2 mm, and it will change from this to an open dot. So we hit apply. Now we press OK. Now I will select this annotation for the multi-rebar. We can go to select dimension. We change from equality here to value. I can go then to edit type. And now we'll need to set. We can set the leader here to show a fill dot. So for that even we can go back and we select, I will hit escape, then we select it, then go to tag. With the tag selected, we can now change from free to attached, then go to edit type. And now here for the leader arrow, I'm going to drop, then select the field dot 2. Now select field dot 2, we hit apply, then OK. Now we notice that we have the complete Rebar presentation also with the tag. To now edit this tag again, we select it. So I'll select the multi-Rebar tag, then go to select tag. Now I'll change here the leader type from attached. We change it back to free, then we hit apply. The reason for setting it to attached is that it will set this dot and this line presentation, also this one, at the midpoint. It will snap them, making the view much more presentable. After we set it to free end, now I can drag this one to a better position. Like this, I'll drag it up to somewhere here. Then I can select this end grip and we can align it like this. So I'll hit escape a few times. And now if we go to annotate, then under multi-Rebar, we select the linear. We can go to loaded tags and symbols. And then from here, we scroll to the structural. Under the structural Rebar, if you want now, we can drop and we can select with 2x so that it can be our default Rebar for the tag. With it selected, now we can proceed. Enable pick position, and also here, I will leave first as free end so that we can place all our Rebars. I'll pick there like that. Then for this one, even I can pick somewhere here, which I will explain why up to here. I'll pick this other one. Now we can place it somewhere here. It is not a must that we snap it at the correct end position because we are going to select all of them, then change them to attached, fixing all of them at once. I'll pick on this other Rebar. I'll pick this one, pick somewhere here, drop up to here, then place the tag at this side somewhere here. I will pick this other Rebar set. With its line, I'll give it somewhere here, or we can detail the line here. Then we can come again, and now we can snap it to the endpoint of this side here. We can proceed to pick the next Rebar set, and you see that we see where the set is spanning using the annotation we have just created. So we can place it here. I'll pick this point and we can snap it here. I will hit escape a few times. And now notice for this set, we had not finished to place it. So I'll go back to the multi-Rebar tag. I'll pick on this Rebar, pick this point, and then I can pick this point somewhere here. With the endpoint aligned, I can click once, then click again to place. Now I'll click escape, and if we zoom, we notice that we have this kind of tags here. To fix it, we select here, and then we go to select dimension, and under here, other equality display, we change from equality formula to value, then hit apply. And if we now hit escape, we see that it spans from the end to end. It has removed the other ones. So we'll go back to the multi-rebar, select linear. Now we can pick on this rebar set here. We pick somewhere here. I will click somewhere, even like this. And for this one, we can choose to go down, or we can go up to this point. And then we can go sideways. So I'll zoom out so that we can align it to the top rebar, horizontal and vertically. Then we can snap it like this. I can zoom back, then pick on this last rebar, pick somewhere there. I'll pick like this, place it like that, then go this way and snap it to the end point here. So I'll hit escape. And how do we fix? You see that the dot is not at the line. So to fix that, I can select one, then right click, select all instances visible in view. From here, we can choose to select the tag. And from the tag selected, we can set the leader type from free to attached and then hit apply. What this will do is it will automatically move the leader to this dimension line, and it will be at the midpoint both for the leader and even the dot. So with that, we have completed to detail the slab details in plan view, and I hope you have found this tutorial part helpful. So in order to complete this, we can proceed to create the schedule for the rebar, and we can do so by going here to schedules, right click, then select new schedule quantities. I will then go to the structural. I'll scroll to the structural rebar. I'll select it, then you can give here the name. I'll leave it as rebar schedule, then press OK. From here, we can start to input our values for the schedule. We'll start with the partition. So I'll select P, then select partition, then add. After partition, we'll go for the bar mark here. So I'll select the bar mark, then add it. Next, we can have the type. So we'll go select type, then add. Afterwards, we can go for count. So I'll go here, select count, then add. Next, we can go for the quantity. So I'll select quantity, then add. Next, we'll go for the bar length. So we can go B, select bar length, then add. Next, we can select the total bar length, now which will represent the total bar length in the rebar set. The total bar will be for the one bar representation. The total bar length will be for the whole rebar set. So after that, we can choose shape. Next, we can now input our A values for A, B, and C. So I'll select A, select B, select C, select D. I will select E. We can also add our comments. And finally, we can add our bending detail. So with this one, I'll press OK. And we now have our rebar schedule. So notice here we don't have our partition. This is for our top walls. So in the plan views, I'll double click and go to the top of all plan view. So you see here we only have slab base and wall 10. So we can go to our top of all so as to place our partitions. How do we define partitions? So for example, this one is wall 8 as discussed in this document. So if I go back to this document, we see that this section here, this one is wall 8, this one is wall 9, the beam is wall 10, and this other one, this side here is also wall 8, and this one is the base slab. So in our schedule, we are able to partition our rebars so that we can be able to only see or to see where the rebar is for. Now, for example, you know that all these ones are for the base. This other one for W10 is for the beam. We'll now need to add for wall 8 and 9 here. So we can go to our top of wall. This is wall 8. So I'll select this rebar set, hold Control, select this other rebar set. We can then zoom in, hold Control, can pick on this rebar set, and we can also pick on this other rebar set. I will zoom out, then go to the other side because this is wall 8 and this other one has also been detailed as wall 8. We can continue with our selection. So I'll hold Control, pick this rebar set, pick this rebar set, pick this rebar set, then I'll also pick this other rebar set. With this rebar set selected, now the number here should be 8. Like that, we can go to partition and we can give it a name of W8 for wall 8. Then hit apply. And now if we go back to our rebar schedule, we notice that we have for wall 8. Can proceed back to our top of wall and finalize by adding the wall 9 partitions. So I'll zoom somewhere here, hit escape. I will select this rebar set, hold Control. We can select this other rebar set. We can zoom in. Now I'll hold Control, pick this rebar set, and we can also pick this other rebar set. Now with the 4 rebar sets selected, we can go here to partition, and then we can give it a value of wall 9. Then we hit apply. If we go back to our rebar schedule, we now have all our partitions, and we can proceed to detail this rebar schedule. Under the rebar schedule, we can go to sorting and grouping. And in the sorting and grouping, since now we have all our partition names, we can start to sort by the partition. In ascending, we can choose to add a blank line, then by the mark. After that, we can go by the bar length. I'll select bar length. And then next, we can choose to select. For now, let's select even shape for the next. Now for this to be able to group, we should uncheck itemize every instance. Then press OK. So next we see that we have here varies. So in case you like to remove varies, we should add the quantity in the sorting. So I'll go to edit. So instead here of bar length, we can now choose to go with quantity. Then press OK. And now we see that all the varies have disappeared. And for this one, we have our partition, mark, type, count, quantity, bar length, total bar length, shape, A, B, C, D, and then comments and the bending detail. Also, we can learn how to remove the millimeter from the schedule. For that, we can go here to formatting, and we see that the millimeter is under the bar length, total bar length, and the values of A to E. So we'll start by selecting the bar length, then go to field format and check use project setting, then set the unit to none, then hit OK. I'll also select the total bar length, go to field project format, and set the unit to none here under the field format. Next, we go to A, field format. I'll uncheck this one, set the unit to none, then hit OK. Let me see if we can drag and select multiple like this. If we select multiple, we cannot go to the field format. So we'll select one by one and check here, then set to none for the unit symbol. Go to C, field format, and check use project setting, set the unit symbol to none, then press OK. Go to D, field format, and check project settings, then set the unit symbol to none, then press OK. We'll do the same for E, field format, and check here, set the unit symbol to none, then press OK. You can proceed by pressing OK. So this will remove all the millimeter from the Rebar schedule. We also have another varies at wall 10. So I'll go to a section that can show me wall 10, which is the beam. I'll go to my ground level view and we can select, let us save the project. We can go to the ground level view and we can select a section that will be able to help us view the beam. So from here, see that we have this section here, but we are not able to view the beam. So we can go to the view tab, then I'll select section. I can start the section along this grid up to somewhere here. And then I can drag it back to the beam. So I'll select it, then drag it back up to somewhere here. Can click outside. And now if we go to the section head and we double click it, we can open that section. I'll change the scale from here to 1:25, the detail to fine, and graphics display to wireframe. So for the graphics display, we'll set to wireframe. Now at the beam, for the varies, it was under Mark 09. So with this, I'll hit tab to cycle, and then I'll select the bottom one. I'll hover above here, hold control, then I'll pick this one. We can go to our ground level view. Then for 09, we can go back to our schedule here. And for this one, we'll go to see which the bar mark is 09. So under wall 10, 09, A and B is 200. So we go here, then input 200 for A, and then we input 200 for B, then we hit apply. Now if we go back to our schedule, I'll hit escape, then go back to our schedule view. We have now the varies have been fixed. So our structural schedule has been completed. And by following these steps, you can be able to recreate this and learn how to place your partitions well, so that you can be able to have the different partitions and segments. Like for example, here even we have the quantity for the Rebar sets and also comments in your Rebar schedule. So we can proceed to create a sheet. so that we can place this in the sheet view. You can right click on sheets, then select new sheet. I'll go with the default A1 metric, then press OK. So to add the schedule in sheets, we can expand the schedule from the schedule list here. Then click once to select it. Then we can drag it to this sheet. So I'll drag it here. Then you can, and if I drop, it should be placed like this. We have it. Now we are asked for the location. We can come, then place it like this somewhere here. I'll hit escape. Then if we zoom in, we can select the Rebar schedule. Then for this one, we can drag it out up to somewhere here, so that the base slab is on one, like this. Next, we have the mark here. We have the type, quantity, and the rest. So here for the bending detail, we can change its size by selecting, and then go to resize rows. Now I can drop it like this. Then we can select image rows. And now if we change the height from 15 here to, like example, 20, then hit apply, it will update the rows according to the image height. You see that one has been updated. Also, we can go back to our plan view. Like example, now I'll choose to go to this view, which we are working on for the slab details. And if we pick on this rebar here, we can go and select bending detail. After I select bending detail, we can enable the align to bar. Then I can place it somewhere here. I'll press escape a few times. Now if I select this bending detail, I change from with tag to bending detail. Now with our bending detail, we can go to edit type. So with the bending detail type, if I choose to deselect show segment length dimension like this, then hit apply, then OK. We are only left with you see that we're only left with the Rebar presentation without dimensions. Now we have discussed on creating the structural tags. Okay, we can proceed to create now one section that we can be able to use, and also we can discuss on creating the general notes. Now for that, I'm going to open a document that contains my general notes. I can open the general notes from here. And from here now we can proceed to add. Now with my general notes opened, we can start to discuss on how we can be able to add this as a parametric keynote. So there's a workaround around it. So I'll start by highlighting here and copying the first field or the first there. Then we can go to view, drop at schedule, then select schedule quantities. From here, I'm going to select a schedule that I will not be using. So for example, I can go with the planting schedule. And from here, I can change the name to, first I'll change to schedule keys. Then I'm going to set this to general notes. I'm going to highlight, copy, then paste here again, and I'll press OK. Now for the key name, I'm going to remove it, and now we are going to add a new parameter. For the name, I'm going to give it, like example, number. and under the data type, you are going to set to text, then OK. And then you are going to add another one. For example, now, description. For the data type, you are going to set to text again, then OK. So it's going to be number, then description. You can choose to edit the parameter like this if you had not set it to text. So from here, we go to the sorting, and we can choose to sort also here. We have the formatting again, and we have now here we have appearance. And appearance, since we want this to be our keynote, we're going to remove the grid lines. We can remove the blank here, can remove this, and we can only show the title. I'll press OK to create that as a schedule. So from here now, under the general notes, we can start by selecting here the general notes, then go to insert data row. We're going to add about 6 to 7 up to there like that. Then you can start with 1. Select this one, say 2. Okay, something like that. 3. Okay, let me input here 2. Then for this other one, 3. Then 4. This is just setting up the numbers. And you'll see in a bit while in the sheet view 5. Then 6. Then 7. Then example 8. And finally 9. This is now how to add general notes as a schedule. So now I'll go to my text. Now I can copy my first text value, copy, and I can come here and I'll paste it at this, then hit enter. I can select again my general notes. I'll select my second, copy, and then I'll paste it here. Then press enter. I'll go back to the general notes. Then I'll proceed with the third note. Then you can paste it here. Then press enter. We go to the fourth cell. Then I can copy this text. Now we can paste it here. Press enter. And go to text number 5. I can highlight like this. Copy. Then you can paste here. Can go back to our general notes. And then we copy this field. We paste it here. Then enter. We are almost there. So we go to the next one. And for this one, I can choose to select like this. Copy. Then go to Revit. And I'll paste it here. After that, I'll hit Shift, then enter, then enter. That will add a line, which we'll see. Then next, I can choose to select the next one, copy. Then I can paste it here, then enter. Then you can choose to select like for example, now here, this text, then we paste it here. Then I'll press enter. Now if you go back to our sheet view, I'll go to the sheet. And from here, In case we wanted to place these general notes at the title block, we can do so, but first we'll need to edit this one. So I'll select this from Autodesk, then go to Edit Family. With the title block selected, I can now start to edit it. I'll pick this logo, delete. I'll pick like this, delete. Here also I can do like this. Zoom in, I'll delete. I can choose to delete these sections. And I'll also choose to delete this segment. And now we have a place where we can input our general notes in, for example, the title block. So here I'll load it into project and close. Do you want to save changes? Yes. We can go to the saving folder, and then I can save it as A1 metric for general notes. You can go to options, then give a value of 1 for the backup, then hit save. We can save the project. And now I can hit escape. I will select this, the existing title block, then go here under the properties, then I'll select the for general notes. Now I'll hit escape. We can go now to our schedules. I'll select the general notes, then drag it here. If I release it, we see that we have a place that we can place it. Now I'll come over my title block like this here. Then I can place it somewhere here. Now we see that for this one we can go to under the general notes, we can drag this one back up to somewhere here. Then we can extend this. And you see that we have a parametric for the general notes even in the title block. So we can align it. So I can select the align command. I will pick this line, then I will pick the line for the general notes here to align them, then hit escape. Now you see that we have placed our general notes in the title block, and this is parametric. In case you also want to place it on the exact sheet, you can do so by also selecting it, then you can drag it here. So I hope that this tutorial series will be of help. And if I have not discussed other things concerning reinforcement, kindly feel free to ask them or leave a comment or suggestion in the comment section below so that I can be able to produce for you a video concerning the same topic. In case you are watching this channel for the first time, kindly take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that when I produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I'd like to thank you all for the continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. So with this, we can go to the other sections. Like for example, in wall view, you can use the same technique to edit the presentation even in this section view. Like for example, now for this one, I can select this wall, Rebar set. And if we select it, we can go to presentation. Then first select none. I will pick on this Rebar set, then hit finish. I can then go select the other Rebar set like this. and then go to presentation here and select the Rebar set to show. Select none. Then for this one, I can pick this part here, then hit finish. Because these ones are alternating, can hit escape. Then you can select on this other Rebar set. We can then go to the presentation above here. We first select none. Then we pick on a Rebar set that we like to show. Then we hit finish. We can select on the other Rebar layer. So we select this other Rebar set. Go to presentation. We first select none. We then pick on the one we want to show. Then we hit finish. Now we see for the wall we have completed to show one Rebar representing the other ones in each Rebar sets. Can then go to the Annotate tab. Then drop at multi-Rebar. Then select the linear. Now we can pick on this Rebar. Can go somewhere here. Then now we can pick this point and we can choose to place it somewhere here. Then you click again to place the tag. I can pick on this other Rebar. Then we do the same like this here. Now we are required to set the location of our leader. Start here. Then I can go vertically and snap it to this other one and click twice to place it. Next, I can pick on this other one. Then you can place it here. Now I can start the leader from here. Then you go this way. I pick this point, then pick again. Next, we can do the same for this last. I select it. I place it somewhere here. Now I select the leader start point. Go this way. I place somewhere here. Then I click again to place. If I hit escape, I select one. Right click. Select similar or all instances visible in view. Then from here we can go to select tag. With the tag selected, so that we can snap these lines. We go to the leader type here, drop, then set to attached and hit apply. So with that one we have moved this leader and the line, they will be at the correct position. And to fix this view we can proceed also. So this one is our section 5. So I can go to my ground level and we can see how this section was placed. So we only have for wall 9 only visible. So we can go to section 5. And since here we only have the wall 9 visible, I can choose to select this edge like this, highlight and select up to here. I can zoom out, then come to this other end, hold control, then I can highlight and select this. We can go to the filters, check none, then we can only check the structural rebar, hit apply, then OK. I can then right click, hide in view by elements. And now we see that we have our details as in the drawing. Also to proceed, we can drag like this one here. I'll hit escape. Then I can drag like this to select one grid and a level. I'll also select this section view. Then I can right click, hide in view, this time by category. And we can now select this scope box. Then we can extend like this so that we can see the whole tag. And also at this other end, we can drag so as to see the whole tag. I'll hit escape. From here, let's go and view our drawing. We see that we also are required to add the dimensions. So we'll go back to our section view and we can add dimensions from here. Go to the annotate tab, then we have dimensions. For this one, I can start with the linear dimension type, and I can start from. So I'll start from, okay, I'll go with aligned. Then you can start from this point up to this point. We go up to this other point, and we needed the wall here. Okay, this reference up to here. So it should be 300. So I'll hit escape. We need the wall thickness here of 300. So I can go with the DL because it is not visible in this section view. Then I can just draw my own, which is 300 here. Then we can do like this, hit escape. Now we can select the dimension, and I can choose to edit witness line, and we can now snap it here. I'll hit escape, or because if we select this and drag it, sometimes the rebars can move because they have constraints, and also this dimension. So I'll hit escape, then just add another dimension line. So this one, even you can start from here up to this wall, and then you go back to this wall here, then up to this other wall. I can place my dimension line somewhere here, then I hit escape, or before that, I can choose to drag like this, these endpoints. For that one, I'll zoom out so that we can be able to also see this other edge. Then if we drag it now, we can snap them together. We can also add dimensions for the section so that we can be able to represent our levels. For this one, we can add the first one here. So I'll zoom out. Then we start from the top of wall up to this slab. Then you can proceed to add like this. Now for this one, I can